Hello everyone, welcome to LICD Lecture 12A. Today's topic is application of current to voltage converters. So specifically we will be studying photo current detectors. So which will be sensing the current from the photo detectors. Okay, so let us start. So first is my photo current detector circuit and we have an photodiode. So just to go further, let us talk about briefly photodiode. So it is also called as photodiode or photodetector or photosensor. Uh, it's a light sensor which converts incident light energy into electrical energy. It is made up of material that is indium gallium arsenide, silicon, and germanium. The symbol is something like this: anode to cathode, and the arrows over here are pointing inwards, indicating that the light is incident. Then it's giving the current as the output. In short, if you want to describe the working, the incident for light, that is the photon, right, enters the depletion region. It leads to creation of electron hole pair, and finally the photocurrent will be produced due to photoelectric effect. So this is in short the working. And note that the PN junction over here is in reverse bias, and the light is allowed to shine on the depletion region. The modes of operation, there are two modes: photovoltaic mode and photoconductive mode. In photovoltaic mode, the voltage is produced by the incident light, and in the photoconductive mode, it produces current when the light is incident on it. And basically, this photoconductive mode is the diode is operating in the reverse bias, the photodiode. This is my IV characteristics. As you can see, it is in the third quadrant. Both the reverse voltage and the reverse currents are negative. So we have a dark current over here, right? And we have this increasing amount of intensity. This illuminance, if you plot the graph of illuminance versus reverse current, you will have it like this. And it's not starting from zero because we have a dark current. So the unit of illuminance is lux. But hence you can see this. So it indicates the amount of intensity corresponding to the current of incident light. Now there are some applications of a photodiode. It helps in electrical isolation. It is used in conjunction, inside one of the devices in the optocoupler. And in medical, it is used for computed as detectors in for the computed tomography. Charge coupled devices, they are used smoke detectors, measurement of intensity of light in lux meters. So these are the wide application area where this photodiode is used. Okay, so here is my circuit with op-amp. As you can see, RF is the feedback resistor, and we have a photodiode over here with the symbol. And this bias voltage will make so that photodiode works in the reverse bias. Okay, so whenever the light is, the principle goes like this. So whenever this light is shining on this photodiode, it will internally create your electron hole pair, which will give rise to the current to the photodiode. So this same current is passing through the resistor RF because I minus is 0, and the current is going from cathode to anode because of the reverse supply. So the photodiode operates in the reverse bias condition. The external DC bias ensures this. That's what I've written. So when the light or the photons are incident on a photodiode, it generates photocurrent IP, which flows from cathode to the anode. Now let me minimize this a little. Yeah. So depending upon the intensity of light, that is incident light, that is intense or weak, the photocurrent can be stronger or weaker, passing through the photodiode. Now here we can say that I minus, the current flowing to the inverting terminal, is 0. Hence the same current IP flows to the resistor RF also. And what else we can elaborate from here? See, the non-inverting terminal is grounded. That means V plus is grounded. So by virtual ground, since this is using a negative feedback, hence the op-amp is working in the linear mode of operation. So we can apply the virtual ground concept, and here by virtual ground, V minus is also approximately equal to 0. Okay, so the current IP over here, current IP is given by V out minus V minus upon RF. I repeat, current IP is given by V out minus V minus upon RF. That's what we have written here. V out minus V minus upon RF. V minus is 0 because of virtual ground. So IP will be equal to, let me just, yeah, so IP will be equal to V out upon RF, and V out will be equal to IP times RF. That means the output voltage is proportional to the current through the photodiode. So in summary, we can say that the output voltage is proportional to the photocurrent, which is proportional to the amount of incident light on the photodiode. So this is how we can utilize or exploit the I to V conversion process in converting a photocurrent into a voltage. Okay, so let us move on to the other application. So this is second application of I to V converter is detecting current from photoconductive cell. Now let us give a brief about photoconductive cell. So photoconductive cell, or they are called as photoresistive cell or photoresistors. So what they are light sensitive resistors. What do they do? Their resistance varies with the intensity of incident light. What they are made of? They are made of cadmium sulfide, which is sensitive to the light in visible spectrum. Now, visible spectrum is the spectral range for the human eye, right? So, cadmium cells are often referred to as light dependent resistors. I guess most of you might have heard of LDR. Next, the materials, other materials are lead sulfide, lead selenide, and lead telluride. So they react to infrared light. So all these three materials react to infrared light and not the visible spectrum. So what is visible spectrum? The visible spectrum is the portion of electromagnetic spectrum that is visible to human eye. So a human eye, just for information, will respond to the wavelength from about 400 nanometer to 700 nanometer. So that's what the symbol looks like. It's a resistor marked with a elliptical circle, and you have arrows pointing inwards indicating that the light is falling, its resistance is changing. Now how do they look like? This is a typical top view of LDR. It is covered with a zigzag fashion with a light sensitive material. What's the characteristics of photoconductive cell look like? Well, it looks like this. So you have this resistance, which is on the y-axis. On the x-axis you have luminance. Okay, so under no light condition over here, the resistance offered by this, the LDR is very high, and when the light is shining brightly, the luminance is going on increasing. So that's what is written over here. Under light condition, under bright light, the resistance falls to a very low value, and under no light condition, that is darkness, its resistance may be more than 100 kilo ohms. So this resistance is called as dark resistance. Okay, so lastly, where they are used? So basically, because of it's inexpensive, small in size, and easy to use, they have wide applications. Basically, automatic street light control, alarm systems, inventory barcode reading devices, and motion sensing light and camera. So these are the typical areas where they are used. Now let us come to a circuit. Okay, so we have this LDR. The supply will make so that the LDR starts working, and whenever the light is incident on this LDR, what we have is we have the photocurrent, right? So this photocurrent flows through the resistor RF because I minus flowing into the op-amp terminal is zero because of high input impedance. So the same amount of current over here is flowing through the RF resistor also. So what do we call it? IP. IP is the current flowing through the photoconductive cell in response to the light intensity. So the principle is something like this. Principle of working. If the resistance of the LDR varies with the intensity of light, if the resistance changes, the current IP varies. And if the current IP varies, that is reflected in the form of output voltage change, which is proportional to the incident light. So from this diagram, I minus is 0. Here we have written IP is flows through, IP flows through, actually here the word is missing. IP flows through RF as well. So that's what is missing over here. Don't worry, I will correct it. So from the circuit, what we can write? From the circuit, we can write V minus IP is equal to V minus V out upon RF. That's what is written. IP is equal to V minus minus V out upon RF. V minus is 0 because of virtual ground concept. So IP will be equal to minus V out upon RF. So V out will be equal to minus RF times IP. That means my output is proportional to the current, current to the photoconductive cell. Now let us see, let us dig a little deeper into how we measure current and how do we interpret it in terms of voltages. So measuring current from photoconductive cell. So let us assume that the LDR resistance is very high, around 500 kilo ohm under no light condition, and its resistance falls down to 5 kilo ohm under bright conditions. So under darkness, if we assume that Vs is around 5 volts DC, let's say, then the current through the photoconductive cell is given by IP is equal to Vs upon R cell. IP is equal to 5 volts divided by 500 kilo ohm. That comes out to be 0.01 milliamperes. And V out is given by V out equal to minus IP into RF, which you work it out in the calculator. Let's consider RF to be 10K. So V out, if you work it out in a calculator, it will be minus 0.1 volt under no light conditions. Now under bright light conditions, the resistance of the LDR, I mean the photoconductive cell is around 5 kilo ohm. So IP will be Vs upon R cell, that will be 5 upon 5 kilo ohm, that will be 1 milliampere. Now the V out is given by minus IP times RF. So that will be minus 1 milliampere into 10 kilo ohm. So that will give V out as minus 10 volts under bright light conditions. So you can see a contrast difference between the output voltage under no light condition and under bright light condition. So that only means one thing, that the output voltage is proportional to the current IP, and which is proportional to the intensity of light. Okay, so I think this concludes our both the topics, both the application topics for I2V converter. And that's it for this lecture. Next time we'll begin with some other topic using op amps. So until then, have a good day and thank you.